Hello, thanks for watching the CXO Academy video. Today we'll be showing you how to maintain dimension hierarchies using our data warehouse adapter. So of course this can all be done through our web-based tool. Let's head on to the Cxo Designer. Once in the Cxo Designer, you'll see a drop-down menu for tools. Within there, we can select maintain dimension hierarchies for our data warehouse adapter data source. Once in there, you see that all your dimensions have a button at the top of the page. In this case, we have the account dimension currently highlighted, and then you see a hierarchy below it. One other thing is that you see not only the hierarchy but the grid, and this is because you can not only upload the dimensions but also add them through an Excel sheet. So let's start with the basics. We can go to any of these dimensions at the top and simply add values to them. So in the case of, let's go to our category. We have currently our actual, budget, and forecast categories. In this case, categories could also be named scenarios. We can add a new member to this hierarchy list by scrolling down to the bottom and selecting Create Member. And as you see here, we'll now have a new member. It's called New Member 1 by default. So we can select this to be, there is a name and a description. In this case, for example, I can name it Forecast 2. But in the description, I can name it something more extensively, like Forecast 2. So the user description is the same as alias, essentially. We'll hit Save. And you'll see now we have Forecast 2 down below. We can rearrange these by simply drag and dropping. But one thing we can also do is add hierarchies in the other dimensions. So I'll go ahead and delete this just to show. You can delete by clicking the icon on the right hand side while hovering over it. And you can add, of course, as I said, any members to any other dimensions by simply clicking on the dimension. So for the measure dimension, we simply have one top level member called none. I can click on this, or I can add a member, of course, by creating a root member. But one other thing I can do is create a child. So in the none, I will select the plus sign, and I will now have a new member 1. But note that the new member 1 is underneath the none, so it's essentially creating a parent-child relationship. I'll go ahead and delete this one for now. And now we'll head to our account hierarchy. So with the account, we have a couple of other options. We'll go ahead and collapse this current hierarchy. So you can collapse just to make it a little clearer to see. But what you see with the account is not only do you have the name and description, you have the unary operator. In the case of, for example, I'll open up my demo P&L, open up the net income section, and so on, operating income, total revenues. And what you see here is that the unary operator is what sums up the values up to the parent. So a unary operator, you can either set to plus, minus, or you can set it to not roll up with this last one. Now the account type, of course, you have the revenue, expense, asset, liability. This counts for this helps with reporting the numbers, and the account sign, of course, plus or minus, that is how the numbers will show up out of the system. Now if I show you for 1 second, let's go back to the category dimension, since we have 3 members there. As I mentioned, you can add the members one by one by selecting create member, or simply going to the grid and uploading a file. Now the way to do this, I would recommend you download the metadata first, and what that does is downloads the current setup. So you would get an Excel sheet with these 3 columns, and you can simply add new members in the Excel sheet and upload that same file back on here. So that will save a lot of time, especially if you're uploading big hierarchies that require that would otherwise require manual input. A long manual input. So I hope this has helped. This is for our data warehouse adapter, and again, it's for maintaining hierarchies. Again, it is done through the Cxo Designer tools, and simply clicking maintaining dimension hierarchies. Thanks for watching.